3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel, and if you're new here, thanks for watching. Today we are canning green beans that we harvested from our garden. We wanted to make this video to show people that pressure canning is not a scary or stressful thing. As long as you follow the guidelines for your pressure canner and where you live, you should be in good shape. So you want to make sure you rinse your green beans really well to remove any dirt that may be on the beans from the garden. So we have Blue Lake pole beans we got from our local nursery, and also a few royalty purple pod beans. We really like green beans not only because they taste good, but because they're really easy to grow and also easy to can. So after you've rinsed all the beans and took out any brown beans or beans that have bug holes in them, you'll want to snap them or cut them. I usually prefer to cut them. It just makes it easier and a little quicker. So you'll just want to cut the ends off, and then you'll want to cut the beans where they're about an inch or so. Some people find this part tedious, but if you have some help or good conversation or even a good movie, it's not so bad. I find it calming and relaxing. So after we've snapped our beans, we like to soak ours in cold water for about 10 minutes. But you don't have to. This is just something that my husband picked up from his grandmother whenever she would can green beans. So while the green beans are soaking in water, that's when I like to fill up my pot for my boiling water. So whenever we put the green beans in the jars, we can go ahead and get boiling water in them. So you'll want to fill the jars up just to the neck, leaving about an inch of space to make sure you don't overfill them, which can lead to the jars failing to seal. This is Frank's favorite part. He likes to use his excavator hands to fill the jars.
I have green beans.
Before you put your jars in, you want to make sure to add water. Ours calls for 3 quarts of water, but you want to check your pressure canner instruction book. So I'm just doing 3 1-quart jars of water. Before I add the boiling water, I like to put in pink Himalayan salt for flavor. You can use any kind of salt you like, or if you prefer, you can leave the salt out. Since we're using 1-quart jars, I'm adding 1 teaspoon of salt. After I add the salt to the jars, I pour the boiling water up to the neck of the jar, making sure to leave about an inch of space to avoid overfilling. Overfilling can lead to the water siphoning out while they're in the pressure canner, and this could lead to the jars failing to seal. After you fill the jars with water, you'll want to remove the air bubbles from the jars. You can use a chopstick, a metal straw like I used, or you can purchase a bubble popper that's made for removing the bubbles, which also doubles as a measuring tool for measuring the headspace when adding water. When you're done removing all the bubbles, you need to get a dry cloth or a paper towel to wipe the rims of the jars to remove any salt or water that may have gotten on them, which ensures a good seal. Once you've cleaned the rims, then you'll put the lids on the jars. When putting the lids on, you'll twist them until you meet the resistance of the lid and make them fingertip tight. If you tighten them too much, any excess air won't be able to escape during the canning process. So when your jars are ready to go in the pressure canner, you want to check your guidebook to see how many jars can go in your pressure canner. Ours says that we can fit 8-quart jars And you also want to check for your location to see how many pounds of pressure you need for your pressure canner. Since we're in the Midwest, ours calls for 10 pounds of pressure. Once all your jars are ready for canning, you'll place them in the pressure canner and turn the heat on high. Place your lid on and make sure it's locked tight. Once the canner is hot enough, it will start letting out a steady stream of steam. When it starts letting out the steam, add your weight according to the elevation of where you live. Now that we're up to 10 pounds of pressure, according to our guidebook, it says to let it cook for 25 minutes for 1 quart jars. But you'll want to check your guidebooks to see what your pressure canner needs to sit at for how long. So once you've let your pressure canner go for the allotted amount of time for whatever you're canning, you'll want to turn the heat off and leave it on the eye because you don't want it to cool too fast. So you want to let the pressure drop down to 0, your air vent closed. You'll want to leave it for several hours or even overnight. And then once it's cooled down enough, then you can take off your weight and you can let it sit until the whole thing cools down. So we like to let ours get cool to the touch, so when we open it, no steam comes out, and the jars aren't cooling too fast, which prevents siphoning. There we go. We have canned beans. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.